Hey everybody, Soma here. I'm with Jimmy Wisenhunt, senior game designer on H1Z1, a game that I am super stoked for because I'm a huge zombie nerd. How are you today, man?
I'm doing well, man. E3's been a blast so far. So
I know,
many people.
day 2,
Just
yeah.
crazy. Just sensory overload. It's fun, though.
Awesome. Yeah, so I've been streaming and playing zombie games for a couple years now. I absolutely love DayZ, Project Zomboid, stuff like that. I think it's fantastic. H1Z1 is more of an MMO, though, isn't it? Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah, no, it's a survival MMO, and it's MMO in the way that it's persistent. It's huge. It's massive. It's going to be a lot of fun.
So is this, like, how big is the map? Can you kind of lay it down for how massive this world is?
I can tell you where we are now, and we're going to be
Okay.
growing from there. We're actually starting with 64 square kilometers, and we're going to be
Wow,
growing
okay.
from that. We're starting off in a place called kind of middle America, kind of looks northwesternish. It's kind of foggy, rains a lot, and just the kind of trees you'd expect, rolling hills and small towns. And we're just going to keep going out and growing and growing.
Fantastic. So, in terms of gameplay, are we going to be seeing massive hordes of zombies and then also players that are trying to kill us as well? Like a PvP aspect that we're always going to have to watch our back because the humans are always the worst, right?
Well, see, ours is a little bit different that way. I mean,
Okay.
yeah, people obviously very smart, and they're going to
Sure.
troll you, and they're going to have a lot of fun. That's one of my favorite parts of the game. I think that's
Yeah.
what really makes it, is the human interaction element. But we're leveraging our world in a new way. Things are going to be much
Cool.
more challenging than what people are used to. You brought up the hordes. We've shown a little bit as we're kind of messing around. We're in
Right.
pre-alpha right now. We've been releasing a lot of our footage on Twitch and streaming that live as we're developing.
Which is fantastic.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun, and we've showed some people just mass amounts of zombies. Like, we can support more zombies than a player could kill in his life. But so it's this tightrope act of how do we make sure that we're leveraging the world enough to where players don't have to work together, but it's definitely beneficial. And it's so far been a lot of fun to try to find that line.
So how many people can be tossed in this world? How many players?
We're still working those numbers out right now,
I'm
man.
so excited.
That's
Yeah,
the
I want to
thing.
know, yeah.
Well, so what we're doing is we're going to be growing the world. So
Sure.
the larger that gets, the more players we're going to support. And that's why early access is really important to us, because
Sure.
we get the opportunity to really find out what works, because there are obviously very defined goals with a survival game. We don't want to make sure
Absolutely.
that you're running around and be like, hey, it's another dude, just everywhere. So
Sure, absolutely. So I'm really happy you brought up the whole streaming it on Twitch aspect.
Sure.
I love the fact that you guys are kind of embracing live streaming and developing the game for people to kind of see each step of the process. Who came up with that idea, and why did you guys decide to do that? Because it's brilliant, in my opinion. I think it's great.
Well, a lot of us, I mean, and you hear this a lot, but I mean, we really mean it. We're gamers. We really are. We
Sure.
all play this genre, and we all play, like I came from PlanetSide 2, and we're all really big fans of just watching our players play. And I've been streaming for a long time, actually partnered with Twitch for the last couple of years.
Oh,
and
great. Okay.
So it's just, the community aspect is so important to us. And by us going to Twitch, we figure out exactly what players want in real time. And they're very loud, which I
course.
love. Actually, the chat's over there. I love
Yeah,
that.
you don't want to look at the chat. Yeah, very distracting. It's moving quick.
Yeah.
So in terms of the game itself, are we going to be able to see, like, jump in vehicles, airplanes? How can we navigate the map? Because that's something that playing like DayZ and stuff like that, which is an alpha still, that's kind of an issue with that. But it seems like you guys have a pretty robust system in terms of transportation and getting around. Can you maybe elaborate on that a little bit?
Yeah, we're on the Forge Light engine, and we leverage
Okay.
a lot of what we worked on PlanetSide 2, which is really fun
Great.
because, well, not only do we all work on it, it's just a great engine. And we have a lot of dynamic ability to do whatever we want with the vehicles. PlanetSide 2 supports massive flying vehicles, or
Oh,
we
yeah, that's
have
great.
the off-roaders and stuff
Yeah.
in our game. We're starting with kind of a vertical slice, so we're just going out with an off-roader. It's a four-wheeled vehicle, doors and all, and you're going to be able to just use that for now because we want to see where we need to go. We're starting with a baseline and have the players on Twitch and who get an early access help direct where we're going.
Awesome. So I think we have some footage or some B-roll maybe we could look at. I would
Yeah.
love to see it on the screen
Sure.
so we could talk over it. But there we go. Yeah. Okay. So the art style is fantastic, by the way. It looks really pretty, and you guys have been developing it for a while now. So it's looks great so far.
Yeah, what you're seeing right now, this is just bits of our world, kind of showing off a little bit of our lighting. Once again, we're in pre-alpha state right now, but we already have our 24-hour day-night cycle in. We have the ability to tune that back and forth to what really feels right. You can see, like, some of these shots are in the evening. You'll see some at night a little bit later. The zombies in our game, obviously you're seeing right now, work a little bit differently than a lot of other zombie games you may be used to.
Sure.
The fact is, these guys are attracted to not just you visually. They can almost smell you, man. If there's a lot of activity
That's
and they're not
awesome.
happy with where they are, they're not getting what they need, they're going to move somewhere else. So as you
That's so
build in
great.
our world and you do all these other things, you're going to change where they're at. And it can be scary. We also have wildlife in our game, which you, I believe, just saw on the screen
Yeah.
here. It's not just for decoration. It's not just for food. It is those things, but I have seen a deer come busting out of the woods. We're showing the game on the floor with some of our partner booths and talking to some press, and we
There's
saw
Sandy.
a
Yeah.
deer right there actually
Yeah.
come busting out of the forest, and it's just running. And if they're running, they're spooked. And here come 20 zombies
that's so-
chasing the deer.
Oh, that's so great.
And
wow.
occasionally you'll be going after a deer, and
That's
a wolf comes to
fantastic.
steal your meal. So it's a
Oh,
very
wow,
dynamic
That's
world.
so great. Wow. So in terms of like whenever you're trapped in a building, there's a bunch of zombies outside, and you're stuck. Can you actually like barricade yourself in? Is there construction and stuff like that in the game? Can you even build shelters or
That
how's
you
that
can.
gonna work?
We actually did a 12-hour live stream on Twitch, and that was
Yeah.
the feature that the community picked for us to develop in one day, in the 12
Yeah, I
hours.
remember that. Yeah, yeah.
So what we did was barricades. So barricades, you get some wood together, some planks, and then you're going to be able to socket those to pre-existing buildings. So you run up and you hammer those things onto the windows. They're destroyable, but what you... I love that. That's so awesome. But yeah, they're destroyable, so you put those up on the walls, and if you're quiet enough, you're going to be okay. But you barricading that up is a signal to players that someone's in there, and they can come knock down that door and come after you.
That's awesome.
If you do make noise within the house, the zombies don't just forget about you because they can't path to you. They will try to tear these things down and come after you as well.
That is so cool.
Yeah, that's probably one of the first things you're going to be doing in the game is you're going to be trying to just survive the first night or day whenever you get in and try to barricade up a house as you start to get materials together to build your own house. You'll be able to do that as well.
So how gritty is it in terms of whenever you first start, you're a survivor that's just starting day one, day
Sure.
zero. Is it difficult to find gear and items and weapons, or are you really going to have to explore and get out in the world and look around? Or
Yeah.
is it's not just handed to you, obviously? So.
Absolutely, and you're
That's
not just
great.
exploring the world. So they're
That is
I don't know
awesome.
who recorded this, but they're not very good at this whole driving thing.
They're running from one of the deer. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's not just about exploring the world, but that is very, very cool and a lot of fun. But you're also exploring what you can create as a player. There are high-end weapons you can see right here. You're not going to
Yeah,
be
sure,
crafting
military
an
weapons.
AR-15, and you're not
That
going
would
to be
be a
crafting
little weird,
an
yeah.
that'd be weird. It's like, hey,
That'd
let
be
me
weird.
just have the stamped weapon made from a forge, right?
Right.
Instead, what you're going to be doing is getting things together like a bow and an arrow, and you're going to get like thrown spears, something we're working on right now.
Maybe a bat and some barbed wire, maybe?
Right, you can do, and
Okay,
that's
awesome.
the thing. And
Cool.
you can start combining these crafting things together. And we have a discovery system for our crafting. So you start off with very basic recipes, and
Sure.
you might find out one day that we ninja patched in a grenade that you mix with meat, and that is now a zombie magnet that explodes. Like we want to do
Oh,
really
man,
fun stuff
that's
like
great.
that. That's still tangible, right?
Sure.
So yeah.
So in terms of like the medical system, like can you like lose a limb, break your leg, be stuck out in the woods sick, puking?
So we're fleshing a lot of that out right now. We're all fans of the genre, and we want to make sure that when a player plays, there is consequence to every action. And we're still, it's a hot topic in the office about whether or not when you fall and you do damage yourself, if you should break your leg.
Sure.
We're still back and forth on that, but it's very easy for us to tune how damage affects you. So
Right,
we're still
yeah.
fleshing that out. Early access, all the players will be able to yell at us and tell us what they want. So.
Sure. If you don't have a buddy out there, you're screwed, right?
Yeah, yeah, right.
So in terms of playing with friends, is there like a party system where I can like see their name on the screen or something like that, or do I just have to remember, okay, the guy in the red hat's my buddy, the guy in the striped shirts, he's my enemy? Or-
Right off the bat, we're not going to throw in a bunch of the party systems and all that. You
Got
will
it.
be able to add your friends, and we're going to have Steam integration in there, so you
Sure.
can have some perks with that. But we're going to see where players go socially, and then add the support we need. Because once again, we're leveraging what we did on PlanetSide 2, so that has anywhere from two-man groups all the way up to full-on outfits and
Right,
platoons
right.
and all that. So
It's fantastic. Nice fire effects.
yeah, I know. That's actually president of our company is obsessed with this fire, and as am I. Like you can hear him yelling from his office, "Fire, fire!" as he tries to catch all of us on fire during playtests.
This looks great.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's actually one of the first things you'll probably end up crafting. You got your bow and your arrow, you got your spears and stuff, and you do have the torch. The torch is good it's a good source of light. Initially, we went ahead and just gave it to players right off the bat, and we found out very quickly that was a bad idea, because what's the first? You have fire. It's like, can I catch this guy on fire? And then you
Yeah,
do, and
yeah,
you're like,
yeah.
that's awesome, and
That's
just everything's
amazing.
on fire suddenly. So
What about setting like a deer on fire?
you can
Okay,
do that,
just-
but
just making sure.
I will say it is pretty impossible to catch up with a deer. Like just
Right.
running up there. The goal is to
Yeah.
have them skittish, not like sneak up on them.
You're not like out there petting the wildlife, sure.
Yeah, like hanging out in the treehouse, just like, just dive bomb them with a torch. Yeah, no, we're gonna try to avoid that.
That's awesome. No, this looks great. So how many outfits, backpacks, stuff like that are you guys throwing in? Is it going to be like a ton of stuff that you can like maybe buy or just find, or?
Well, so Within the game, there is no set economy. I mean, we are a free-to-play game.
Sure.
It will be microtransaction, but everything we do will not have any impact, like zero impact on the way that you survive in the world.
Because, okay, I was going to ask. Okay.
Yeah, and that's really important to us
sure,
in a survival
absolutely.
game. We don't want to completely break that.
Yeah.
Exactly. And but within the game, there are a lot of different shirts and different backpacks of different sizes.
Right.
There are hats in the game. Right now we're playing with the best way to get a flashlight attachment on a hat. So instead of having to carry on this flashlight all the time at night, you can upgrade to throwing a hat on that has a flashlight. And we want to have that sort of customization and options for different play styles.
Yeah, buying power is never a good thing. So yeah, being able to buy like hats, stuff like that—that's something I would want to do. So that's fantastic. Yeah, so you guys just saw some of the footage from H1Z1. It looks fantastic to me. Any timeline and when people can start getting their hands on it? Because I'm sure that's what everyone wants to know.
Well, we're not specific with it right now. We really want to make sure that we have the basics in, and once again, we're really open with our development, and we welcome everyone to come in and talk to us about what they want to see. And looking at what everyone expects, and us being players of this game, we kind of stepped back and said, what is it that we want 100% the day one so players can truly understand what we're going for? And we want to make sure that vision is there so players can help direct us where they want it to go.
And how much do you listen to the player voice? Like, is it like a massive part of the development? Like,
yes, it's seriously, I mean, it 100% is. Getting on Reddit every morning and trying to read through, I mean, there's a ton of comments there daily, and we can't take everything into account, but it's a good way to get temperature of what the community has going on, because if there's a million upvotes on something, well, people seem to like that idea, and we're going to check it out.
Absolutely.
And we've actually had debates with players over Twitter and on Reddit over like whether or not we should do something, and they win. So like a lot of times they're like, okay, fine, we'll do it.
So when can we expect to see more streams? Like, what's the next H1Z1 stream?
You know, actually, we don't have one scheduled as soon as possible. I mean, we've talked about a couple times on our own streams is we're pretty rapid development. I mean, by the time I left the office and I get back, it's going to be so much different. I check my email like I'm like a kid in a candy store. It's like, you want to get back, I get to tune. Free Look just came online. That was one of the most requested things, of course. Like, you don't want to feel claustrophobic and have to turn all the time. Of course. So our Free Look's in right now, and we just keep working towards different functionalities like that.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. So another thing you guys did that I thought was great was you kind of did like a War of the Worlds kind of thing where you had like this radio broadcast.
Yeah.
And that was fantastic. I really love that. Are you guys going to do more stuff like that, or is it going to be more development stuff?
I think it was definitely mixed reviews on that, right? But the people that wanted
I thought it was cool.
Yeah, I thought it was cool, too. And I'm usually not the lore guy. What I loved about that was the fact that you get to hear the story from beginning to end, and we're not throwing it in your face in a survival game because you want to feel isolated. You don't want something holding your hand and throwing things in your face all the time. But we do have this backstory that I think is pretty cool, and that really helped bring it to life for a lot of people. And I think we plan on doing more stuff like that, even with the community, which is going to be really exciting.
Can you maybe sum up why the zombie apocalypse happened and what's going on in the world, or is that something that's more to come later on?
Well, we've actually talked a lot about it, and I'm definitely not the lore guy, but essentially this has been something that's going on for a long time. It goes all the way back to the medieval ages and Island Pavaglia and research that was done. And, you know, there were some rumors about what actually happened in World War II with Nazi Germany and all this. And this is something that's been a long time coming, and it kind of just came to a head. You definitely got to check out Survivor Radio Broadcast if you haven't yet. It's very long, but it's worth sticking through.
It's worth it. It's super cool. I loved it personally. So yeah,
I'm glad to hear it.
Yeah, the game looks amazing, man. As a zombie nerd, I've been playing zombie stuff for years and years, and people say sometimes, you know, the zombie genre is kind of congested. You know, why is there more? I think zombies are such a great enemy in a game. They're so easy to do, and there's always room for more, in my opinion. So I can't wait for H1Z1 to come out. I'm going to play the crap out of it. So I'm going to stream it, I know for sure.
Awesome.
So,
Look forward to it, definitely.
It's going to be great, man. Yeah, thanks so much for coming out, man.
Sure.
Any final words you want to say about the game? Anything to get people super stoked about it?
Yeah, I would say, once again, we're listening to you guys, and every day
we're looking at the chat right now.
We're actually looking at the chat right now. I can't get away from you guys. No. At the office every day, part of our practice is we come in, we look at Reddit, and we figure out what's going on. And you may see your ideas in by early access and bits of everyone's ideas. I mean, a lot of my job and the other designers on the project is to look and figure out, maybe if we can't have this exact feature, what is it about this feature that people want, and why? How does it mesh with our game? And we want to have that conversation, be very open about that. So do check out the subreddit. It's H1Z1, and H1Z1.com is now officially live. At H1Z1 game on Reddit. On Twitter. So just make sure you check us out everywhere. We're always throwing information out. It's actually kind of hard to keep up with sometimes. And tweet at us. We're all very, very active with you guys.
Awesome. Yeah. So a few more months. I know I already asked, but like maybe a few more months until we can get our hands on it.
We'll
or
see.
Not gonna say it all.
We'll see. We're closer every day, man. We're getting the features we want, and we want to get it out there as quickly as we can without compromising the quality of what people have first day. So
Awesome. And one quick question: whose idea was it to say H1Z1 is the perfect title for our game? Where did that come from?
that was, once again, it's not just collaborative with community. We all talk, whether we're engineers or art directors, character artists, or designers. We all have conversations about this, and it was just something like we knew what we wanted to make because we want to leverage the engine with a genre we love, and it just kind of came about. And there's always debate back and forth, and we all were like, no, actually, yeah, that
works.
Yeah, we like it.
Sounds great.
Yeah, for sure.
So thank you guys so much for checking out some H1Z1 stuff with us. The game looks incredible to me as a zombie nerd, so I can't wait for it. Maybe we should take maybe a question or something from the chat. Like, let's see.
Well, you're gonna just find the first one we see.
It's just so much spam that it doesn't even matter. Yeah, too spammy. Yeah, too many people in there, dude. Thank you so much for coming out, Jimmy.
Thank you, man.
I am very, very, very excited for the game, as you can tell. All these people look like they are as well. So yeah, we're gonna take it back to you guys. Take it easy. H1Z1, Sony Online Entertainment's new zombie game coming out soon. I can't wait for it.